Every black cat owner eventually notices the same problem. Their cat keeps defeating the camera. You point your phone at a perfectly lit, incredibly detailed animal, and the image you get back is a featureless void with two glowing dots hovering in the middle. The camera software reads the entire scene and sets its exposure for everything except the jet black fur. Because that dark coat swallows almost all available light, the machine cannot resolve the contrast. Every fold, whisker, and muscle collapses into a single flat silhouette. Throughout history, that visual blankness turned the black cat into a dark mirror. People projected their own beliefs onto that coat. In ancient Egypt, that projection led to a sacred status, tying these cats directly to the goddess Bastet. But in medieval Europe, that same visual emptiness was filled with a different story. The cat was recast as an omen, a familiar for witches, and a symbol of bad luck that moved on four silent feet. These thousand-year-old rumors still follow them into modern animal shelters. Study after study confirms that black cats are consistently adopted last, and in many regions are the first to be euthanized. They are still being penalized for a superstition attached to a color they never chose. The perceived void of the black coat is a visual trick that hides a sophisticated biological history. Peering into that darkness reveals a specific configuration of genetics and history that has allowed this animal to endure. Every domestic cat on Earth carries the genetic blueprint for a tabby pattern. If you stretch a solid black cat out in a hard shaft of afternoon sunlight and look slowly along the ribs, you can see ghost stripes surfacing through the dark fur. The black pigment floods every hair so deeply that it usually drowns those stripes out. Look right above their eyes, and you'll find the faint letter M stamped onto the forehead. Your cat is a tabby that has simply learned to hide the cattern. This dense pigment is surprisingly reactive. Owners often worry when their jet black cat develops a rusty bronze cast along its spine during the summer, but this isn't a sign of illness. Strong UV exposure slowly breaks down the dark pigment into a warm reddish-brown along the exact ridge where a cat bakes in the sun. It is a temporary record of summer, fading back to black once sunbathing season ends. The coat isn't a static, solid surface. It is an active biological layer that reacts directly to the cat's environment. In the wild, solid black is a camouflage disadvantage. It makes a hunter stand out in open ground, where a lighter, patterned cat would melt into the grass. Typically, a trait that makes hunting harder is weeded out by natural selection, yet nature keeps reinventing this dark coat. The black panther is not a separate species, but a leopard or jaguar using the same melanism trick your house cat uses. Evolution reaches for this identical design over and over, on different continents and across different eras. For years, researchers thought this was just a recessive gene. Then, the U.S. National Cancer Institute looked into the DNA and found a specific genetic switch. They found a tiny deletion, 2 letters missing from a coat color gene. It belongs to the same family as CCR5, the exact doorway HIV uses to enter human cells. This suggests the black coat mutation might also help slam viral doors shut. This image shows mature HIV particles at the edge of a cell membrane, illustrating the viral threats that this genetic doorway mediates. The dark pigment serves a more complex role than simple camouflage. It exists as an outward marker of internal evolutionary armor, a physical shield against the plagues of the past. Humans tested that survival armor during the medieval witch panics. Black cats were rounded up and killed by the thousands, with people blaming the shadow for the darkness they were desperate to escape. This extermination backfired. As the cats disappeared, rat populations swelled, carrying the fleas that spread the bubonic plague. By hunting the cats, people removed one of the few defenses they had against the disease. This period of intense human persecution created a genetic bottleneck. It acted as a filter for feline temperament, favoring those that could best navigate a human-dominated world. The cats that survived to breed were the ones bold enough to stay near human settlements for food and shelter despite the risks. Skittish cats that fled were often lost from the gene pool. This human-imposed filter effectively selected for a specific temperament. The descendants of the cats that successfully navigated the dangers of human villages
are the sociable, unbothered companions we see today. This legacy is visible in the modern black cat's behavior.
They are described again and again as level-headed animals that treat their owners' laps as reserved seats and remain unruffled by a busy household. You can see this trust in the slow blink. Because closing their eyes near a larger creature is a biological risk, this gesture is a cat's clearest way of saying they are not afraid of you. That trust is reinforced when they purr against you. While we often associate the sound with happiness, cats also purr when they are hurt or frightened to help themselves heal. This chart shows the specific frequency range of a cat's purr. Scientists have linked this low, steady frequency to mending bone and repairing tissue. When a black cat chooses to purr on your chest, it is dropping its defenses to share its own healing mechanism. It has searched the house and decided that your presence is the safest place to recover. After centuries of superstition, the black cat continues to drop its defenses and seek out human contact. This animal persists as a companion that actively chooses to trust us.